The older black men get, the less the world cares about us. It stares at us through judgmental, dry eyes. FYI, men do cry when we're alone because we too get lonely. But no one cries when we die, except our mothers, lovers, and dead homies. I'm the only good son to my mom and my pop. Our murders and suicides are increasing. I am no longer afraid of death, but I am deathly afraid of being shot, being forcefully stopped by cops and dehumanized. No right of safe passage. Even though we code switch, we wear the mask. My younger counterparts wear their pants sagging as if to say, you can kiss my ass. And I'm not mad at that because it is now as it always was. What I want for myself, I want for my bros. Visualize this love because we are the invisible men that Ralph Ellison spoke of. Extinct, on the brink of a human being forgotten, rotting away inside the strict pipelines of public schools and private cells, rotting away inside our self-esteem. Now it seems that people who want the most tolerance are the least tolerant. Assholes. Did you witness the outright murder of George Floyd or Philando Castile, woman by his side, baby in the back seat when he was killed? They say be vulnerable. But when we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, vulnerability gets us killed. I should warn you that I am armed with intelligence. 49 years of qualitative research, data collection, and documented evidence. I wanted the results to be more joyful and happy. I was once eager and scrappy, but even the mightiest of warriors get tired of fighting, get tired of trying to enlighten and at the same time be enlightened. We are the sons of light, Allah's reflection, a solar kufakiri, caught inside the blind sight of the world's animosity. Yin does not exist without yang. Even ancient philosophers knew that the world evolved through reciprocity. There is dark, bright, fire, water. I am a paradox, speaking candidly and honestly, because honesty is a characteristic that has become mystical. One day, the guilt will consume the very same poetry venues that were meant to bind us, remind us that our words become legacies and should remain timeless. But death is where you find us, amongst our fallen brethren. We don't die, we simply ascend to the higher heights of heaven. From boys to men to deity. Visualize this love. We are the invisible men that Ralph Ellison spoke of. From cotton pickers, slaves, to sharecroppers, inventors, judges, teachers, and doctors, refusing to be forgotten. All right. I had to get that out because I'm getting old, and that's how I felt. So in poetry events, they like you to snap, right? Somebody give me some finger snap. All right. New stuff. What causes a person to snap? Is it when they're backed against a brick wall, no escape, exit, no said options? Emotional burns blaze red. Every issue ain't black or white. Shades of gray matter when the prefrontal cortex goes haywire. Brainstorms trigger trauma, shots fired, mass shootings, marathon bombings, domestic terror attacks, killer clowns, killer cops, killing browns and blacks. These ain't folk tales, urban legends, or fables. We are the uninvited guests, and guess what's on the table? Comatose vegetables, dark meat, sacrificial lambs. Church hasn't been a sanctuary or saving grace. Damn, don't talk to me about safe space. What causes a person to snap? It's the red lines that define gentrification, the uncertain anticipation of daily life, the way women of a certain persuasion can jog around Franklin Park safely at night, the sway of cyclists on bikes like they have bumpers, stay in your lane. Road rage causes a person to snap on your way home from a long day's work. Curb your enthusiasm. We were driven to uncontrolled rent, the side effect of prescription meds dulling our senses. They say crack was not an epidemic. Meanwhile, meth heads run methadone mal with a New Balance against wrought iron fences. We nod our heads to the drone of fake news and murmur, only bitching and moaning, protesting over black murders on social media memes. It seems to me that this life itself is torture. They navigate through a multiverse of cancel culture. F you, you're cool. Birds of prey, flying high over the cuckoo's nest on autopilot. I have the right to remain violent when anything I say or do is used against me. I plead with the fifth of whiskey. This is the last straw. We're quick to draw guns on each other, but staying alive is much harder for people of color. What causes a person to snap? It's the silent invasion of our moral codes, the appropriation of our customs, music, art, and soul food by hippie, Birkenstock vegan types with no substance or meat or meaning to their life. They're filled with the BS, which is a little too ironic, don't you think? They drink expensive kombucha tonics in swanky cafes. They reap the death benefits of Black and Latino communities that have prepaid the cost in the end. The south end of my town, where the ghost of the Harriet Tubman's house once stood erected, in an eclectic neighborhood, its residents richly impoverished, extended no lines of credit before being forced out. I've studied the metrics and kept tabs on these sidestepping crabs. There's always been something fishy, in fact. I scale back and calculate my measures before I snap. On the filet mignon, Dom Perignon, privileged power structures. These mothers, they gonna learn. They're gonna learn what causes a person to snap.